And welcome in. Good evening. Dennis Fithian here. Maize and Blue Review. TMBR. Michigan basketball post game. Ready to get things underway on this Friday. The Wolverines opening up their season exhibition style down in Detroit, in Wayne State, opening up their arena, the Wayne State Field House. And I watched the game on a stream, like a lot of people, and it was pretty cool being able to watch the Maize and Blue for the first time out. I am pleased to bring on somebody who's going to talk little hoops, and I'll just jump right in. That is CJ Baird, the Wolverine, who's coming on this post-game live to help me out and chop this one up and talk about what we just witnessed out there on the parquet floor down in Detroit. CJ, good to see you. How are you?
Good, man. How about you? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm doing great. You know, it's basketball season, and this yesterday and the day before, it kind of felt like the weather was turning where it was getting that way. So we know it's here, and it was good to see the Wolverines out there, exhibition style. And first of all, it's got to be a little bit strange for you not being with the team. You're with them for the last 4 years. What was that like?
It's very different watching from home. There's a lot of things that I used to be critical of on the bench that I could just yell out and tell a guy in a huddle. But now when you're at home, I'm like, oh, he should be doing this, should be doing this. I'm saying it to myself pretty much. So that's definitely an adjustment for me. But I think the thing that was cool was when you watch me from home after playing for 4 years, you really appreciate what you're seeing and what the coaches have done there. So, I mean, I was lucky enough to be part of a team where, I mean, for all 4 years I've been there with Coach BY and Coach Howard, it's the best the program's been in years and years. We've had such a great stretch. And watching the improvements this team has made and watching the adjustments that Coach Howard's made with the new guys coming in, I mean, it was already impressive after a first game. So I'm excited for them this year.
Yeah, well, let's talk about what we saw here. You know, it's an exhibition game. So, you know that in the end, Michigan's probably going to overpower Wayne State. I'll give it up to it used to be the Tartars, the Warriors, whatever they are now, Wayne State. But, out of the GLIAC, they hung in there for the first 10 minutes. It was a nice crowd, a nice atmosphere. And, we find out before the game that Frankie Collins and Zeb Jackson are not going to be available for Michigan. So it was a little bit of a surprise when they go to the bench right off the bat and they bring in Nunez and Diabote. And it was like, okay, what's going on here? But I don't know. The starting five was what we pretty much expected. If you were drawing it up, what did you like right off the bat? Anything? I wrote down a bunch of things. I could throw them at you, but was there anything off the top of your head that jumped out to you watching Michigan tonight?
I think something that really jumped out to me was a lot of it's kind of particular, but the unscripted ball movement. So a lot of extra passes were made that wasn't part of a play or anything. So, for example, there are a couple times where Hunter got the ball at the top of the key or he had the ball in the post, and the team really was willing to move the ball and share it. So, I mean, you have another preseason All-American, Hunter Dickinson, Davonte Jones, a fantastic grad transfer from Coastal Carolina, even experienced player in Eli Brooks. They know what it takes to win, and they also have prospects at the next level. That does not mean that they're going to be selfish. And even guys like Caleb Houston, he wasn't pressing, which was I thought it was really cool to see the freshmen. They weren't doing anything out of their range. They weren't trying to make some crazy shots or doing some crazy step backs or anything. They were being patient with the ball. And I think that's what's good about having experience on this team. Guys like Eli, Hunter, Davonte, they really calm down the freshmen. And freshmen know if they do things the right way, they're going to get their shots and they're going to be out there on the floor. And you can really see that with Caleb and especially Musa, who really impressed me tonight.
Yeah, the thing, Eli Brooks, the captain of the team, he was captain last year. He's the captain again in the 6th year. He's 23 years old. Davonte Jones is 23 years old. It's a very experienced backcourt that Juwan Howard has. I'll credit somebody on the message board who came up and they said that they thought that Davonte Jones, the transfer from Coastal Carolina, reminded them and his mannerisms and the number he was wearing, 12, as a former Wolverine. A lot of people know him by his acronym MAR, but Muhammad Abdul Rahman, if I can get that one right. And as soon as he said it, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I see it. He even kind of, I don't know whether it's a shoulder straight up or how he's attacking, but I saw the similarities from Davonte, and man, there was just some glimpses out there, but sometimes out in the open court and watching him, running the break, that was pretty exciting. Our first glimpse there of Davonte Jones.
Yeah, I think that's a really great comparison, actually. Davonte showed a lot of poise. In your first game, I mean, like they had a close scrimmage against DePaul, and that's very different. Having fans back, having a lot different environment, and also coming to a bigger school with a lot bigger expectations at Michigan. Davonte showed that calmness that Muhammad really had when he was here at Michigan. You could really rely on Muhammad to get a good bucket, make the right decision in times of pressure. And even though it wasn't really a pressure-filled game, they were challenged in the first 10 minutes or so. But Davonte really showed poise that's necessary to lead this team. Especially defensively. I think a lot of people, there's actually one play in particular that really stood out to me. Wayne State tried to run a similar play that Michigan currently runs, and they threw this cross-court pass, and Davonte does what he always did at Coastal Carolina, was make a great steal, made the exact right read when he needed to. He wasn't gambling. He wasn't taking chances that put the team at risk. He just was solid the whole game and knew what he needed to do. And he, again, kind of part of that guidance that's going to be important for those freshmen.
Yeah, to me, you talk about all the freshmen there. We didn't see Frankie Collins. Musa Diabote comes in right off the bat, and he makes a move where he faces up. He ended up getting called for an offensive foul, but, you could see the talent there. And as the game went on, he was trying all kinds of different things. And he reminded me a little bit of a former Wolverine, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago. He played his first 2 years at Michigan, then he transferred to Baylor. Epke Udo kind of reminded me a little bit of the similar body style. And, Epke had a lot of moves like that. But I think the thing that stood out to me with Diabote, I mean, he's a live wire. He was blocking shots. He wasn't afraid to, try some different moves that Juwan Howard and company are allowing him to do that as a freshman. Because a lot of times you'd say, oh, wait, take him out, because there was a little bit of flair there. And there might be some things where, you got to charge or you got to travel. But that's kind of Juwan Howard's style. He's going to let these guys, go a little bit. And I liked it, what I saw from Diabote. I'm a big fan now.
And that's good, too, because especially as a freshman, you're really worried about making mistakes. And you see Coach Howard, like you said, he's letting these guys make those mistakes. And that builds confidence in your players. So the coaches are like, they understand you're going to make a mistake. And if you're not getting pulled right away if something goes wrong, because usually freshmen have really short leashes, and they're kind of like, okay, if you're going to make a mistake, you're done. But these guys were given the chance tonight, and I thought it was really impressive.
Yeah, I don't know if it was to your point there. I saw it. Terence Williams gets the ball, and it wasn't like he was thinking like, well, am I going to shoot it? He got it. And he fired it up like with authority, like, he was the leading scorer on the team. Of course, it went in, it was a splash, and and then he shot another one, same thing, like, okay, I'm rising up and I'm firing it. And you saw that a little bit. And that's the way you should play. You should go out there and feel like, hey, if I'm open and I've been knocking him down in practice, let me go ahead and and I'm in rhythm. I'm playing the team game. Let me see what I could do. And I like to see that from Williams. Nunez as well. I wanted to ask you, like, I've seen him shoot in practice, and the stroke, like, you'd look at it and say, man, that's textbook shot, looks great and everything. He got in there, and he had a little, like, I don't know, it's kind of sidestep with his footwork, and it looked really good. And, it was a little bit off there, but I don't know. What do you think about the outside shooters here? They're going to really need them, obviously, with the departure of a player like Isaiah Livers.
Yeah, so I think Coach Howard has done a really good job of promoting the role playing. I know Sean D. Brown did it really well last year. He came in as a great player at Wake Forest, main scorer, and then he decided he's going to play a 3-and-D role, which is like an NBA projected level. Terence today, I mean, that first three he took was awesome. That's something you really encourage your guys to do. His release was quick. It looked pretty, like you said. I think that's what Coach Howard is trying to bring in, is a 3-and-D style player to college. There's a lot of guys like, I mean, not doing the NBA, it's really promoted in the NBA is really valuable. But I think what's happening now is the offense is really morphed into this NBA style, and having those guys that can space the floor, like a Nunez and Terence Williams now, is consistent catch and shoot threats without having to have the ball too much, really open up a lot for guys like Hunter that may need some more time to score, or guys like Eli that really have to work their way into the paint and like have to dribble a little bit more sometimes. So I think that's going to open up a lot for the offense. And when Hunter gets a lot of attention, which as you saw tonight, he's going to get a lot of attention in the paint. it's going to be important to get those shots off. And it looks like they're really confident they're going to make them.
Yeah, you're watching the Michigan basketball postgame here at TMBR. That's CJ Baird. I'm Dennis Fithian, and Michigan goes out and they lead by 27 at the half. They end up winning it 87-54, 33-point victory out there. Not that those numbers matter too much. It's just getting a first glimpse here of this rendition of the Wolverines. And, that rotation I talked about at the start, when I saw Kobe Buffkin, he's a freshman. He was wearing number 2. He's a 6'4" lefty out of Grand Rapids. And at the one point, I look and I'm like, he looks like, is he playing point guard? Well, then, I saw that Frankie Collins, the true freshman, and then Zeb Jackson, the sophomore, both of those guys, consider probably point guards. That's probably why you saw Buffkin at 6'4", but maybe to your point there, guys that, could play more than one position. And he didn't look like, it was uncomfortable for him. It looked like a fine role there for the true freshman. And we lost CJ for a second. Maybe we'll get him back. That can happen here on a live stream. We certainly appreciate everybody getting in and watching. He's back. See, it takes you take a quick 20. That wasn't even a quick 20. I was like a quick 10. I don't know where you dropped. I was asking you about Kobe Buffkin, how he got in there and he was running the point at a pretty early junction there, and the two other guys backups, but he didn't look uncomfortable at all with the ball in his hands.
Yeah, which was really a great welcome sign. I expect when Zeb Jackson comes back, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I think Kobe displayed a lot of, like you said, some poise. You didn't seem uncomfortable. I think what's going to be interesting to see now is the battle between Zeb and Kobe at the backup point guard position. A lot of people, I mean, if they do anything at all, I think they'll probably have Eli alone at points sometimes and Davonte alone at points sometimes. But if one of those guys is in foul trouble or one of those guys is hurt, you really need somebody else to step up and play that backup role. And I think it'll be interesting to see how these guys play out throughout the year. Having some healthy competition behind two guys like Eli and Davonte is going to be great for the team and push them really far. I'll just be interested to see who comes out on top. I think Zeb is an extremely good athlete, and obviously so is Kobe. I think what's going to really matter is who can run the offense the best. And it's really going to be important to see what guy is comfortable. And seeing Kobe come out comfortable like that was really impressive.
If you're watching right now, if you're listening to or watching this digital cast afterwards or listen to it on a podcast, obviously you can't get your feedback in that way. But I'll be on after 10 minutes after every Michigan basketball game. And if you want, if you're watching the live feed right there on YouTube, if you want to put some comments in there, we can take those right off the feed and we will answer them here tonight. So you have that way to get at us. I'm on Twitter. I don't know. CJ, you on Twitter?
I am actually. Yeah. So I should put my ad in here. It's at Baird CJ on Twitter. Follow me, follow Dennis, and we're putting out some really good content. The Amazing Blue Review has been great so far.
Yeah, we'll make that happen. This is just the exhibition. This is, for us getting out there and, seeing what it's like as well. Just getting a little burn, getting a little gloss here to see what it's like. I got a couple points here, and, we're not going to be here all night, talking about this exhibition game. But, it's a nice little taste, heading into the weekend. I saw that the Michigan hockey team, they're playing Michigan State right now. Wolverines up 4-1, so that's going well down at the Yost Ice Arena. Caleb Houston, I talk about, to me, if there was, if somebody said, what did you think tonight? I'd say, man, Musa Diabote stole the show. He was awesome. He was all over the place. He's a live wire, all those things. I like him. I'm an instant fan. Caleb Houston was the highest ranked recruit out of the 6 that were coming in. So a lot's going to be expected from him. He's 6'8". He made his first move. He had a dribble drive, pull up in the lane. And like, ooh, that's pretty nice. But, he didn't force much. You talked about that a little bit earlier. And, so from that standpoint, the best is yet to come here for Mr. Houston.
Absolutely. And I think that's something that's going to come like with him getting more comfortable with the experienced guys. I think as a freshman, you come in and it's hard, even if you're a highly recruited player, when you're coming in and playing with seniors and stuff, you really want to make sure you're playing the way the team wants to play. That's why you see a lot of young, all freshman teams go out there and they kind of play a lot of one-on-one. And sometimes freshmen that are on experienced teams come out and they play scared. Although Caleb didn't really force anything tonight, I don't think he was scared at all. I think he took the shots he needed to, the open shots. Like you said, he made some really good moves. And the thing that really impressed me the most was Michigan put him in a lot of ball screens, which I was not expecting. The offense showed him come off a lot of ball screens, and he made the right decisions too. Actually, there was one play in particular where he caught the ball on the wing and Hunter Dickinson rolled to the lane. And Wayne State had like Caleb doubled on the outside of the perimeter. And as a freshman, usually like a lot of guys have their heads down. They're not looking for the pass. Caleb made the exact right read to Hunter, and Hunter kicked it to the corner to EY for 3. Something like that. It seems so simple, and that's the reason Caleb Houston is starting, because he makes the simple plays. He has the high IQ, and he's not going to try to do anything that's going to put the team in danger. And I think that's really going to be useful for the team throughout the year. And as he establishes more confidence, we're going to see more of that top 10 potential that he has.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that. The next time we'll see Michigan's coming up on Wednesday. It's the opener, the home opener. And in that game against Buffalo, they will raise a Big Ten banner, a championship banner. And you were part of that team there. And I know that, going all the way to the championship game when you were a freshman against Villanova, that they can't take that memory away from you. You were involved, so many athletes, pandemic, no fans and everything. It was 607 days before these guys, since they had played in front of fans. But to just have that banner go up on Wednesday, what's that going to mean to you?
I mean, last year, like you said, not having fans, not having people like watching us do this. I mean, it was so special. I mean, how much the players had to give up, how much we really had to put into this, battling through a pandemic, dealing with the mental health issues, really cutting yourself off from a lot of the things you normally did just to go and pursue this championship. And to finally get it was so rewarding. I mean, I'm willing to admit I cried after we won. It was that special, and it was special to everybody because we knew what we did. We knew that we earned it. And Coach Howard told us that all year. We really believed it. And to actually go out and do it and now see a banner go up in that Story gym is really special. And I'm very excited.
Well, nobody's going to forget that. Nobody's going to obviously forget the pandemic, but what the athletes went through. And I'll just say this to you. I didn't go to any games. I've been to a million games over the last 25 years. And then over the last year and a half, I haven't been to any games. The last game I went to was Michigan State playing hockey in the Big Ten tournament. So that's been like a year and a half. But the season, it came down to 3 shots for 20 seconds to go to the Final Four. Certainly validated the regular season by getting into. You have to have that success in the tournament, and you guys did. But, man, it was such an entertaining season, and it'll go down. I think people will always remember the 2021 team. There were you wondered, just what it was going to be like, that transition. You were involved in that from John Beilein to Juwan Howard. And, everything just feels good about the Michigan basketball program right now, CJ.
And it's been great to, like you said, being there for that transition was really special. Coach Beilein and Coach Howard are both great coaches in their own right. And Coach Beilein really established a great culture at Michigan. And I know a lot of programs and coaches talk about their culture, but I can speak from experience that the culture that Coach Beilein built and that Coach Howard has built upon in his own way is really what makes Michigan so special. And that's why players now are wanting to come here, because Coach Howard's done a really good job of putting it out there and saying, okay, I mean, this is what we believe in. This is what you're going to be at Michigan, and we will be something special. He'll say that to his recruits. He said that to us throughout the season. And I think like last year's team, like I said earlier, we all believed throughout the year, this is what we're going to do. And we went and did it. It wasn't like, oh, we're just talking, we're going to win a championship at the beginning of the year just to keep morale up. It was, we really believe in that. And I know Coach Howard is telling those guys tonight, this is the first step after this exhibition game to winning 3 championships. We want to get the regular season, the tournament, and the NCAA tournament national championship. It's those 3 championships that we always preach. And I think Coach Howard is going to continue to do that for a couple more years at least.
Well, it's going to be fantastic that you're aboard here with TMBR, the Maize and Blue Review. Anytime here, in fact, every time you want to come on, of course, we want to have you, front and center. You're a wealth of information, being on the team for the last 4 years. I mean, you can't, you can't replace that. And so it's great to have you on here. I'll give you a final thought. Look forward to opening night. What's that going to be like? This was a little weird going on the road for an exhibition opener, but coming back, Buffalo seemed like a pretty good team out of Mid-American Conference. But having fans there and having a banner go up, you talked about those tiers. I think there's going to be just a lot of emotions before they jump it up.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be something that Coach Howard's going to talk about all week. Is there's a lot of emotions going into these games, and you hear a lot of NBA guys say this too. You see a banner go up. Once the banner's up, it's over. Like, you have to move on to the next thing. And for me, my career is done, so I get to sit back and relax this season and enjoy what happened. But the guys that are on the team this year know that they've done it in the past before. They can do it again. But it's all about right now. It's all about the next game. No matter who you're playing, no matter what emotions you're feeling. It's all about capitalizing on that momentum they have from tonight's game and really taking it out on Buffalo. All those good emotions, bringing back the memories of last season will be great. But it's time to make some new memories and write their own legacy this year. And I'm excited to see them do that.
Well, obviously, you're moving forward, CJ. We can tell that by listening to you. And you came right out here and with no prompting, just started firing as well and filling it up. And, you hit a triple-double here in your first time out on the broadcast. So I loved it. I look forward to talking with you again. I'll be here on Wednesday. Of course, you're invited then. We haven't talked about exactly how many times you're coming on, but I can't wait for Wednesday, and I can't wait to work and talk about hoops with you again. Thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks, Dennis, so much. And once again, make sure you follow Dennis and I and the Amazing Blue Review, putting out a lot of great content at basketball, football, anything Michigan. Make sure you give us a follow and be on the lookout. It's going to be a great season.
Great. Have a great weekend. And it was great meeting you here, and we'll talk with you again soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, Dennis. Thanks, everybody.
CJ Baird. Michigan wins it. See ya.